But we really want to share how personal development has changed our lives.
Welcome to Hoy and Tomorrow. I'm your host, Maribel Serrano.
And I'm Veronica Estrada.
And today we're talking about legacy. We lost an icon, a huge human being who left a profound legacy that has touched all of us. And that is Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And I want to start off by reciting one of her powerful quotes that is, in fact, about legacy. So she said, "To make life a little better for people less fortunate than you. That's what I think a meaningful life is. One lives not just for oneself, but for one's community." And when I first read that, I got emotional because how profound and true is that? And what a beautiful time to really take that in and look at our lives and how we're living for our community and for others. What are we creating for the world? What legacy are we leaving behind? What are your thoughts?
You know that talking about our mortality is something that I enjoy doing. I like that reminder that we are here on borrowed time and that we are building our legacy one day at a time, whether we like to think about death or not. It's a very powerful, death is very powerful in that way. And I love to glean lessons from death because that's the only way to live, knowing that you're not here forever and what are people going to say about you once you're gone. And we know Ruth Bader Ginsburg was so inspirational and iconic in all the ways she fought for equality for women's rights that we now stand on her shoulders to create even this show and to have so many of the privileges that we have here.
Yes, and even younger growing up, I remember thinking there have been women in the world and in history that have fought for the rights that I now have. So I'm going to be a woman of power and I'm going to be a voice for my community. And Ruth was one of those huge people that had an impact. And we were talking earlier about her impact touched us here and changed our lives. And we wouldn't be where we are if it weren't for people like her.
Exactly.
And the idea that as human beings and as individuals, we are temporary, but our legacy lives on. She's gone, but her legacy is very loud. Very, very loud. So much so that it lives within all of us.
Right, exactly. And it makes us think, right? 2020 has been one heck of a year. We've suffered a lot of loss, starting with losing the legendary Kobe Bryant and his daughter and the other passengers in the helicopter. But then from there, coronavirus, I think we're nearing 200,000 deaths of Americans that we've lost. So a lot of the collective has been grieving as well. And the other challenging part about it is not having that ritual of saying our goodbye to our loved ones because of COVID-19. So we're all reeling, and now to have lost Ruth Bader Ginsburg, it's just another blow that if we focus, we can learn something positive from it.
Yes, and also the idea that our legacy is being built whether we're doing it purposely or not. Like something happens to us tomorrow, the legacy is going to be there. So what legacy is it that we're building and creating for our loved ones, our community, that's going to be left behind because it's happening either way.
Right. In one of the interviews where she was asked about her legacy, she was talking about how her and another female Supreme Court justice were commenting that when they graduated from law school, no firm in New York or really no big law firm would hire them where they could have the path to become partners. And they were commenting, of course, in retrospect, that if they had that opportunity, that they would have been able to become partners and retire and just live a different life. And because that path wasn't available to them, they took a detour or another route and ended up trailblazing and becoming Supreme Court justices. So sometimes...
Yes, and there's a very profound lesson in that sometimes we go through situations where things don't go our way, or we think we've earned something and it just doesn't happen. But what's on the other side, and what we end up seeing for ourselves, is a bigger opportunity than we could have ever imagined. So the lesson is really, when we are dealing with something that this is not what I wanted, why is this happening to me? It's like really thinking, is it possible that this is leading me to a more powerful direction?
Right.
And it always is, but questioning it allows us to not ignore what we're feeling, and it's okay to feel down, to feel disappointed, but still open it up to another possibility that this is actually good for us.
Absolutely. That's similar personally to what happened when I, was unceremoniously fired from my dream job. Like, to me, it was literally the end of the world. I didn't know who I was, but now 3 years later, it was the best thing that could have happened to me. It changed the whole course of my life for the much better. And in the moment, it's hard to, you're like in the bottle and trying to read the label, and it's impossible. But once we take some time and we actually sit with the discomfort and always continue to choose courage over comfort, then we can step into our epic greatness. We can really live a full life where we're leaving a legacy that we're proud of behind.
Yes, I love that. Oh my gosh, your description of being in a bottle trying to read the label, I've never heard that before, and I love it. Like, you're in the situation and you're not able to see beyond it. That is exactly where we get stuck sometimes. So thanks for that.
Yeah, of course. And that happens. It happens to the best of us. It happens to everybody. And knowing that you're in that situation, and that it's okay to not know, and it's okay to sometimes feel despair and sometimes feel heartbroken and feel a loss and mourn. All of that is super important, and we shouldn't fight it. We should just lean into that and learn from it. And that's how you grow through what you go through.
Yes. So lessons about death, legacy, accepting the situations that happen through our lives, looking for the opportunities, and questioning whether this is happening in our favor. So we are so grateful and so fortunate to have had someone like RBG in our lives. Thankful for her impact, for her legacy, and we accept the torch of moving forward and being our best selves and standing for our community.
Yes.
So thank you all so much for tuning in.
Yes, and continue to choose courage over comfort, and look at RBG's example and move forward in the direction of your dreams.
Thank you so much for watching.
Bye.